Pleasure to
Pleasure to
welcome you
welcome
all
you
to
all
our
to
Zoom
our Zoom
Meetup
meetup
series.
series.
So, we
So
have
we
the
have the
honor of
honor of
hosting a
hosting a
renowned
renowned
expert
expert
and a
and a
distinguished
distinguished
speaker
speaker
today
today
who has
who has
graciously
graciously
accepted our
accepted our
invitation to
invitation to
share her
share her
knowledge and
knowledge and
insight with
insight
us.
with us.
So, she is
So
a
she is a
trailblazer in
trailblazer
her
in her
field
field
and has
and has
made a
made a
significant
significant
contribution in the
contribution in
field
the
of
field
data
of data
science.
science.
So,
So
without
without
further
further
ado,
ado,
let's
let's
welcome
welcome
Miss
Miss
Usha
Usha
Rengarajan.
Rengarajan.
Over to
Over to
you.
you.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Anushka and the team, TFUG, Hajipur, Suryakant, and all of them. Sorry, Ugandhar, right?
Right,
Yeah,
right.
Ugandhar, Surya. I always get his name right. Yeah. So thank
Yes,
you
ma'am.
so much,
Thank you.
everyone, for putting together this event. Since I'm also a TFUG organizer, I know what effort it takes to organize events. It's not an easy task. All of them are busy with their own life and personal and professional commitments. So outside of this, coming and spending a lot of time to contribute to the community is a great thing, and I appreciate that. And with this, we'll get started with today's session. So today's topic is about how to compete effectively in Kaggle using weights and biases. So before we get into Kaggle part, let's first see how to what is weights and biases. It's an MLOps tool. So not just Kaggle, you can use it for your real world production, production level use cases in your company, or you're just going to a hackathon and participating in hackathon, you can use it there also, or you're just trying to learn machine learning and want to learn it effectively the right way, you can use it there also. Kaggle is one such tool where you can, compete, and it's a huge data science platform where there's a lot of data science competitions which happens, and you will be collaborating with a lot of people across the world. So there is a need for an effective tool. For example, I collaborated with somebody from Switzerland in the same competition. We had a person from Switzerland, we had a person from Bangalore, we had a person from South Korea, and a lot of other different countries. So when you have teammates from various countries, it's important because I'll be conducting 5 to 7 experiments in a day. So how will my teammates know what experiments I conducted, and they don't want to repeat the same thing, right? Because we are all part of the same team. So there's some way we require to track all these experiments and find out which of. So as a team we would have conducted by the end of the competitions around 400 experiments, but we can select only two of our solutions. So how would we know which gave the best metric value and all these things? So we need some platform which tracks all these experiments, which captures all these metric values and all of it. And that is why a tool like weights and biases is very very important. And this is the context. Now let's get started and see, like, what is weights and biases, and understand more about the tool, and then head on to Kaggle, and I'll show you how you can use it in Kaggle. So this is going to be the session agenda. And so before I start, I'll share my credentials just in case you want to keep in touch, after the session as well. Then this is my Twitter handle. This is my Kaggle, and you have my GitHub repository. I have very interesting projects coming up by the end of this year. I have some research paper contributions and things like that coming up, so you can watch out for it. So these are my credentials. Please follow me on Twitter. You can follow me on Kaggle, and you can give some stars to my GitHub repository and follow me on GitHub as well. And yeah, so in a typical research machine learning project, any project, whether it's Kaggle or real world or whatever it is, you conduct so many experiments. It's not one model you develop and deploy in production. You conduct so many experiments, and for each experiment, you track so many metric values and all of it. So this is how it looks like in a research paper. And so you can track it in a notepad. What are the different options for tracking it? You can either track it in notepad, or if you don't like notepad, call Excel has got many columns. You can track it in Excel sheet also. And if you don't like Excel sheet, we have something called a tensor board. Even here, you can use it for tracking. But if you don't like, all of these tools has got so many problems. So in a huge project, there will be some 10 different teams. So you will have thousands of notepads like this going on and on. So it's going to be like, you can't maintain like, by the time you finish a 5-month project, you will have like, 15 to 20 notepads or 15 to 20 Excel sheets and a lot of tech support dashboards. So this is all going to be very, very difficult to track. A single project, you have things scattered across multiple things, and each notepad will be with some one of the teammates, and another person doesn't have access to that notepad. So this is very, very cumbersome and very difficult to manage. And you will have sometimes in a single Jupyter notebook, there will be error in one line. So if there are 10 people working in the team, then you will mail, another person say line number, cell number 28, this line of code is not working. So please look at it. You'll mail another teammate. Or if you have a messenger in your company, you can also, people will also do messages. But the fact that you are communicating with the teammate, the rest of the team doesn't know. So this is all very ineffective way of doing data science. So either you will collaborate with Discord and all of this, but this is all very, very ineffective way of collaborating or doing a machine learning project. The most effective way is you require an MLOps tool which satisfies these three conditions. One is it lets you do rapid iteration. If another thing is reproducibility is very important machine learning research. So you just do one experiment and publish results. It's not, the game is not over. Somebody else comes and replicates your experiment. They should get the same results. This is very, very important. I'll tell you a short story what happened in Duke University. There was one cancer paper which came out in 2006. They gave out some results which were not replicable by a lot of people. And this cancer paper was funded, this project was funded $1 million, and there are a lot of humans already signed up for doing testing as well. See, imagine you publish some spurious results and you already start testing it on humans, then it could be dangerous for human lives. And this is a very, very big thing when it costs some human lives. If humans die because of your bad experiments, then that's not okay. So this became a huge issue. A lot of scientists found out that the paper is not reproducible, and they filed a lawsuit and all of it. Then Duke University came and publicly apologized, and they started becoming, started getting reproducibility a lot. So it's not like you conduct an experiment, you publish it, the game is not over. And somebody else comes and replicates it. Important concept in machine learning, but not many people pay more attention to it. And then you will have to collaborate. So in a team, you're not working solo. You are 15 people or 20 people in a team, and you should be able to collaborate with all your teammates. There is no project where there is only one member in the team. At least 15, 20 people will be there. So you need a tool which helps you collaborate with all your teammates. So rapidly iterate means quickly you'll have to do a lot of experiments without worrying about taking notes, maintaining, sharing that note with other people. All this is unnecessary for you. Some tool which helps you do fast experiments, helps with reproducibility and collaboration. So there are many such tools in the market, and weights and biases is one such tool. So you can also look at the competitors of weights and biases like Comet ML, you have Neptune.ai, you have some Catonic.ai, TrueFoundry. There's so many tools out there in the market. If you learn one tool, it is easy to learn every other tool. So at least one tool you should know. And today we are taking one of the easiest, easy to learn tool, which is weights and biases. And instead of having 15, 20 different ML sheets, you have single dashboard where you can click on the corresponding tabs and you will get the status of every experiment. So this is very easy, and all of your teammates will have access to this dashboard. So anybody can click on any experiment on any part of the day, and they'll get access to what metrics was logged, what is the dashboard, visualization, everything at single shot. So this is how powerful weights and biases, and you can do all of it. For doing all of this dashboard, you don't have to struggle much. Just 3 lines of code. That 3 lines of code also you don't have to memorize. You cut, copy, paste, work is done. With just 3 lines of code, every experiment, all the 15 people in your team or every team member of your project, whatever they are doing, everything is tracked on dashboard. So you can and all you have to do for it is three lines of code, which is you're installing the weights and biases tool, initializing it, and logging the metrics. This is the three lines it takes to create a dashboard like this. So weights and biases has support for all types of data. It is not just for tabular data. You want to track images, you have support for images. If you want to do anything with 3D objects, there's support for 3D object. If you are having an audio based project, there is support for audio based project also. If you are doing a video based project, there is support for video based project as well. Or if it is some kind of text, you have support for that. Or any format like HTML or whatever format you have, there is a support for every type of data and every type of projects. And it has very easy integration with all recently released softwares like Streamlit, Gradio, Flask, and Python, and you have Plotly, Dash, and all of these recently released softwares. It has easy integration with. So it makes it very, very easy to plug into your project. And it is not just for metrics tracking. If you have some data set and if you want to ask questions about your data set, you can also query your data set. You can also visualize images as well, or if it is some kind of text, you have support for it. And you can also visualize your data set. Some people don't like to see their data sets in a tabular format. They want to visualize what the content of the data set in a visual form. You can do that also very easily with weights and biases. It's not just for tabular data. It is, you can visualize images as well. You have some data type called banb.table, which helps you visualize images. As I told you earlier, it has support for all types of data: visual data, audio data, video data, HTML, even molecule data. Every kind of data you have support. And you have any experiments you're tracking, and each experiment will have different hyperparameters. Any model which you're using will have multiple hyperparameters. All the models you can track, and very easily you can keep your browser on top of these experiments. You can say, you can find out for which value of this, how the other parameters will change, and everything. So this is basically about weights and biases. And now let's get into this is a basic idea of weights and biases. Before we get started with weights and biases, I would request all of you to go to weights and biases website. So first go to weights and biases website. For me, it has completed. How many people completed? Put done in the chat box. You can put done if you've
I
completed.
can see
I
five
can
people
see
are
five
following
people
along.
are following along.
That's great.
Yeah,
Okay.
it is still running. Some more alerts and all is still running. So I'll give you 2 3 minutes. All of you complete this, and then we'll go and see how to do this in Kaggle.
If you are facing any
If you are
difficulties,
facing
sir,
any
you can also put
difficulties,
in
sir,
the
you can
chat
also
box
put
like
in the
I
chat
am
box
stuck at
like
this
I
point.
am stuck at this point.
Is anyone facing any problem with running the weights and biases? So now after you have completed the experiment, you can go to your profile. So if you go to your profile, you will get this. So there will be something basic intro or something like that. So in that basic intro projects, under projects, if you see experiment 1, experiment 2, all that you'll be able to see the things, multiple experiment and the runs. Each run you click, you'll be able to see the visualization of all the laws, accuracy, the metrics and everything. I'll give you a couple of more minutes. So if you're finished, then you can put it in the chat window that you're done. First, I'll tell you how to what all the. Thank you, Anushka. So, what are the tools? How all you can use Vanby in Kaggle? So, this is a women in data science competition, which was the. I've shared a notebook link in the tool. So, this is a women in data science competition, which was held in 2022 at Kaggle. So, this is competition was hosted by. Stanford University. So the whole thing was AI for climate change problem. So you have lot of variables like building related factors, climate related factors, and all these factors you have. And what you need to do is you have to find out the energy consumption of a building. So predicting the energy consumption of the building is a problem statement here. So this was a competition which was hosted in Kaggle by Stanford University in 2022. So this is a basic machine learning competition. So to first use Vanby, you have something called Kaggle secrets. So where you can actually go and store all your passwords. So for example, I'm using only API underscore key, but this API underscore key has my secret value, but that will not be visible to anybody who sees my notebook. So Kaggle Secrets is an option where you can store all your secret keys and passwords. So I'll also store my Banby key in Sal Secrets. So after you do that, you just have to cut, copy, paste this particular thing, and you have to paste it in your notebook. And here you will be giving your username and then here you'll give some competition name, you'll give some user defined value. So but you have to just cut copy paste this value. This is for initializing your Banby, setting up your doing your Banby settings and cat integration with Kaggle. This is a piece of code. After you do this, what are the possible things you can do with weights and biases in a data set and visualization is you're having a lot of charts in you're visualizing a lot of variables and you have a lot of charts. You can go and log all these plots in Kaggle as well. So you can go and log all these plots in weights and biases as well. To log plots, you can just create banby.init, you can initialize a project, and then you can just do banby.log and you can log anything, whatever bar chart or you're creating a line graph or whatever graph your violin plot or whatever graph you create, you can just go banby.log and you can log that plot in banby. So in a project, you will create many visualizations, many charts and everything. All these charts you want to store it in a central place so that all of your teammates can visualize. Then you can just use bandy.log and you can log anything, almost any kind of plot. One more thing is, in a typical machine learning experiments, you will create multiple models. It's not like one model you create and that's all. In the machine learning competition itself, around 300 models you will generate. So, how to maintain different versions of the model? For this, Banby has got a tool called, artifacts. So, if you create multiple versions of your model, you can store all your versions in Banby artifacts. So this tool comes very much handy. It's not just models. You can also store your different data. So the data set keeps changing, and if you want to store your different data sets version, then you can use artifacts as well. So it is nothing. Banby.artifact, give the name of your data and what type of data is it, a data set or a model. That's it, and you can log it. So anything you can log using, just do banby.artifact, mention what file you want to log, and then just call banby.log underscore artifact, it will log that. So artifacts is another one cool tool which helps you do this. And outside this, there is you can also track your experiments and you can also track your metrics in Banby. For that, I'm sharing another notebook in the chat window. Please go check this. So in this notebook, if you see, this notebook is more of tracking the metrics and values. So to track the metrics, again, if you want to use Banby in your code, you just have to cut, copy, paste this piece of code. This is a secret key which you would have already got stored that will automatically get picked. So this piece of code you have to cut, copy, paste. And whenever you want to track your experiments, you can easily track it using weights and biases. So there is just one line of code which you want to include for tracking your experiments. So you just create all your Banby initialized projects, give your configuration and all of it. And after that, so you can do vanb.watch, put your model there. So your model automatically, all the everything which happens in your model will automatically get recorded. So this is one way where you can keep track of your model experiments. And then if you want to log specific metrics like validation loss, accuracy and all of it, you can use vanb.log for logging those metrics as well. And it is not just metric. If you have any want to log the wrong predictions, you can log all that. So this is how you can do experiment tracking using Banby in Kaggle. So you don't have to memorize anything. You can take any sample code and you can just cut, copy, paste the code from there and you can start using it. So to summarize what all we can do with weights and biases, if you have multiple models, you can store these models in Banby artifacts. So if you have multiple versions of the data sets, you can also store it in Vandy artifacts. If you create any charts or graphs, you can log those plots using Vandy.log. If you want to keep track of all your metric values, you can use Vandy.log to log anything. And if you want to watch your model and keep track of all your experiments, you can just use Vandy.watch. So these are some of the things which you can do with weights and biases in Kaggle. So Kaggle specifically, a lot of people like 5 to 10 people will compete. 5 people will compete in a single competition. So all of you want to keep track of your teammates, experiments and what your teammate is doing and all that. Using a tool like weights and biases comes in very handy. Again, weights and biases is not the only tool in the market. You have other tools as well. So this is a brief introduction about weights and biases, and how to use weights and biases, how to create an account for weights and biases, and how to use weights and biases to compete effectively in Kaggle. So if you have any questions, I'll take up questions right now. So I have my Twitter account, Kaggle account, and my GitHub repository. Share with you. You can follow me in all of it, and yeah.
Hey everyone, if you
Hey
have any
everyone,
question
if
in
you
your
have
mind
any
or
question in your
you want
mind
to
or
learn
you
more
want
about
to learn
Kaggle or if you
more
have
about
any
Kaggle or if you have any
related to van,
related to van,
you can just ask
please you can just
Mushana.
ask Ashana.
So we have
We
one
have one
questions coming
questions
like are the
coming like are the
visualizations published
visualizations
on the
published
weights and
on the
vice
weights
public?
and vice public?
First question.
Yeah, there are so many of them. I'll show you some of it. So if you take these visualization, these are stored in form of thing. And even if you take some of my old projects,
So one more
So
questions
one
from
more
Harman
questions
Date like
from
so
Harman
we
Date
can
like
store
so we can
weights and
store
bias at each
weights
stage
and bias
or
at each
epoch and
stage
start
or
from ever
epochs and
left
start
training.
from ever the left training.
uh, what you can do is you can store weights and the parameters at each step. You can do however you want, you can do, or at the end of after every 10 epochs, if you want to store that also you can do, or if you want to store it at every epoch, that is also possible. It's anything you write, you just have to do vanv.log and log your values, and then vanv.store after artifact, and you have to store your model weights and biases after every epoch. That's all. So how it's up to your convenience if you want to store after every epoch or after every 10 epochs, but it's
I hope
possible.
I
Harman you
hope
got your answer.
Harman you
So
got your
from
answer.
Sam,
So
he
from
has no
Sam,
question, but he
he
said
has no
like it was
question,
a
but
great
he said like it
experiment
was a
today
great
on Mandy,
experiment
and
today
he is
on Mandy,
participating in
and
ICR
he is
competition.
participating
Good
in
luck for
ICR
ICR
competition.
competition for
Good
him.
luck for ICR
Yeah.
competition.
Congratulations, Sanyam, and best wishes for you, and wishing you all the very best for the competition. And happy to know that you're planning to experiment in weights and biases. So yeah, you can always keep in touch with my credentials, my Twitter, Kaggle, or in GitHub, wherever you want to contact me, you can contact me. and I would recommend following me on all three platforms. And then if you have questions in future, you can also reach
Yes,
out to
we
me there.
recommend
Yes,
all of
we
you to
recommend
follow
all of
her
you to
on
follow
socials
her
and stay
on
connected
socials
with her.
and stay connected
And
with her.
one interesting
And
fact about her,
one
like she is
interesting
a
fact
world
about
first
her,
lady,
like she is a
that
world first
triple
lady
Kaggle triple
that
grandmaster.
triple Kaggle triple grandmaster.
Yeah, thank you so much, Anushka.
You're most welcome.
You're most welcome.
Hello.
Yes, Saramandeep, if you,
If you
yeah, go ahead.
Uh, so you can hear me?
Yes, you are
yes, you
audible.
are audible.
Okay, okay. So uh, actually, that was a very interesting session. So we do uh, today.
Yeah, thank you so much, Harmandeep.
Actually, I want to ask. Wow, what is the interesting project you have done? I want to know about anything interesting project, any kind of idea.
Yeah, I have recently done 4 projects as a part of Keras Community Sprint, which is happening. And so, where we have developed projects for autism. So, one of first project is how to detect early detection of autism using MRI scans. That's the first project. The second project is about autistic people have also trouble understanding emotions and faces on multiple modalities like text and the other modality is sound. And so you have emotion detection in text, face, and then sound. So we have implemented recent research papers in multiple data sets as well. So yeah, this is something which is very interesting, which I've done as a part of Kera's community sprint, which is currently happening. And all of this will come out in Google AI blog soon. And so you'll watch out for it. Maybe in the mid of July, you will get a Google AI blog where all of these projects will be mentioned there.
Actually, uh, I was not good at English or communication, but thank you for your uh, consider. Thank you for your communication.
Yeah,
Actually,
I appreciate you coming and asking questions. That itself is a great effort, and congratulations, and keep up the good work of being very active in the community. Yeah, you can learn English anytime, and I'm sure you will develop it over a period of time.
uh,
Thanks, thanks,
Thanks,
Harmandeep,
thanks,
for
Herman,
asking
for
question
asking
and
question
sharing
and
about
sharing
it.
about it.
So communication shouldn't be a
Communication
barrier.
shouldn't
Like
be a barrier. Like
even I was an
even I
introvert
was an
introvert. Sorry.
introvert. Sorry.
When I started the
When I started the
community,
community, I did.
I'm getting like
I'm
some
getting like
confident.
some confidence.
So
actually, when I was open the camera, my mouth always shut. But without the camera, I have no problem or very less problem.
same happened with me.
Same
Like if
happened with
I
me.
am
Like
putting
if I
headphone,
am putting
and I don't know
headphones,
why I
I
just
don't know why I just
it's happened with
it's
me.
Me too.
Anyway,
Anyway,
it was an
it
exciting
was an
session,
exciting
and
session,
uh,
and
Yes.
we want to thank you
we
so
want
much,
to thank you
Sushan,
so much,
for
Sushan,
taking your
for
time
taking your time
this
out
giving
and
and
just
sharing
giving and sharing the,
about the
Yeah,
Wendy
about
and
the
Kaggle.
Wendy and Kaggle.
It's our
yeah.
pleasure
Thank
to
Uh,
you.
Our
host you,
pleasure
and
to
we are
host
looking
you, and we are
forward
looking
to
forward
many
to
more
many more
collaboration with you.
collaboration with you.
Yeah, it was my pleasure coming here and speaking with you all, interacting with you all. Thank you so much, Anushka and Yugandhar and TFUG Hajipur team for inviting me. Keep organizing great events, and I would love to collaborate in future as well for different topics. And wishing you all the very best. And for everyone attending your audience, coming here on a Friday evening, and then staying with us is not a small task. And so, thank you for so much for joining us as well.
Uh,
Wishing you all a great
yeah,
week.
thank you.
okay.
Thank
Thank,
One more
thank you,
question is,
Usha, for hosting such a great event.
yeah, thank you, thank you.
So I was glad I was part of that.
We have one more
we
question
have
from
one more
Sanyam.
question from Sanyam.
He applied for
He
Kaggle
applied for
and
Kaggle and
Biopic mentorship
Biopic
as a
mentorship
mentee,
as a
and he is
mentee, and
like
he's
asking for what is
like
the
asking for what is
acceptance
the
rate, and
acceptance rate, and
how was your
how was
experience
your
as a mentor?
experience as a mentor?
Can you just
Can
quickly
you
share?
quickly say?
See, the acceptance rate might be very less. There are a lot of people who apply and very few get selected. Maybe like there might be 10% acceptance rate. There were 8,000 applications where they got took only 150 people last year. So the acceptance rate is very less, like less than 10%. But as a mentor, my experience was very good. My mentees, in that 3 year span, 3 months span, they developed a lot of interesting projects and they were able to learn a lot of things. My experience was definitely good.
Actually, I also built an project recently. I used the TensorFlow documentation uh, for building sequence to sequence NLP detection. Uh, but yeah, it is not good as that, but it can translate languages. And
Oh, okay, not a problem. You can learn it over a period of time. Like, it's good you've started and then, keep working hard on it. And over a period of time, you will build great projects.
Okay, then any more
Okay,
question,
then
or we can
any
just
more
wrap
question,
it?
or we can just wrap it? Like,
We have like
we have
14
like
minutes, but it's
14
all
minutes, but
on
it's
you.
all
So
on
if
you.
you have question, we can
If
just
you have
stay there,
question, we
and
can just
if
stay
not,
there,
then we can
and
just
if
wrap
not,
it
then we can just wrap it
and save everyone's
and
time.
save everyone's time.
I guess no more
I guess
question,
no more
Shanam.
question, Shanam.
So thanks
So
again.
thanks
Yeah,
again.
we can just
Yeah,
wrap
we
it.
can just
The
wrap it.
session.
This
Yeah,
session.
thank you so much.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
Yeah,
sure.
thank you so
Any
much.
question, right?
yeah, you can just
Yeah, you
share
can
the
just
slide
share
link.
the
I
slide
will share
link.
in the
I will share
Telegram
in the
group with
Telegram group
the
with
members who
the
have
members
couldn't join
who
today.
couldn't join today.
They will just
They will
Yeah,
just
I'll just check with Van Bakes and Vices team once before sharing the
yeah.
slide.